Hello there, friends! As you know, yesterday Valve released the update. Let's see how the pro players reacted to this patch and what's going on the pro scene in general. Let's get straight to it. Of course, the recent CSGO update is on everyone's mind, and as you probably already know, Valve removed Dust 2 from the active map pool and replaced it with Anubis. Also, the AWP magazine has been reduced to 5 bullets, and the M4A1S also received a pretty substantial nerf. It now does less damage at long range. Now it kills not with 4 shots but with 5, with the exception of very close distances of literally a couple of meters. This is certainly a major update. I don't remember so many things being changed in the balance of the game at once, and many people have already managed to play with the update. Do you like it? Yesterday even the online record was broken. 1,130,000 players were active at the same time. It's the biggest number online for the whole 2022. Valve managed to slightly change the game and immediately raise the interest. Imagine what numbers we would really have if only Gabe Newell was really engaged in the game and released updates constantly. But this is just thinking out loud. Instead, let's take a look at how pro players reacted. Of course, Tapson was surprised most of all. Valve, what have you done? Now we're doomed. There's no arguing here. It will be very difficult for BIG without Dust 2 because that was their best map. But fortunately for the Germans, the game will not be introduced to the map pool right away. The next Blast will definitely be played without drastic changes, as well as many other upcoming tournaments. Most likely, only from next year the game will completely switch to the map pool without Dust 2. Valve themselves wrote that this should happen only by the next major. By the way, they may have removed Dust 2 because of this. At the major in Rio, it was the most unpopular map, which was quite shocking. Apparently, people are now playing Dust 2 less in matchmaking too. Personally, this is my favorite map since CS 1.6. Write down your favorite maps in the comments below. Let's get a little nostalgic. Now we will explore Anubis, which has entered the competitive pool. Here's how the champion and the MVP of the major, Jame, reacted to the changes. They've spoiled our era. Drop the Anubis nades ASAP. The op nerf is decent in theory. Doesn't spoil anything much. At least we managed to win the major. M4A1S is also not bad. It ruins everything for the players with weak shooting. Now AUG and M4A1S will not help them. They will have to take down their rivals in the beast mode. I haven't seen Anubis yet, and I'll be at my PC in 5 days. I hope it's more like the current Ancient, we don't need the second Vertigo. Here's what Monacy said. I can't believe I'm seeing this. They've removed Dust 2 from the map pool. GG. The AWP is understandable, it was necessary for a long time to somehow get it nerfed. But why they took Dust? Next up is what Nico wrote. Why Dust 2? I'm fine with Cobblestone as well. And why would you add Anubis instead of Tuscan or Cash? Can't wait to go through 1 year of reworks and changes on Anubis. By the way, the whole internet is already heavily displeased with it. There are so many bugs on the new map. Molotovs are bouncing off strange surfaces. The corners stick out, the smokes fall through textures, and the things are bad with the balance of attack and defense. Therefore, most likely in the near future there will be a bunch of fixes, so don't get used to the map much yet. Deco turned out to be the most dissatisfied. Man, I don't want to play CS anymore. It's not even about the AWP, but about the drastic map changes. First, they removed my favorite train and added the green thingy. Now they changed the desert to another desert. IDC, man. Many pro players weren't particularly happy with the replacement of Dust 2. Everyone had a question. Why was it Dust 2, not Mirage? Here's what Shocks said. Keep Mirage and remove Dust 2. Can't understand. That's the negative part from my point of view, as Mirage should be revoked and let place to another map. That being said, excited to see a totally new map implemented. We needed that for sure. Excited to also check updates on the A1S, so it's maybe more balanced. Not sure about the AWP. AWP is definitely OP, but does 5 bullets change it? I'm not sure. Good AWPs are impactful with the first 3 bullets, I would say, and the rest are bonus, I feel. Let's see if it really changes something. By the way, more on topic. There has already been a study on Reddit, and it turned out that on average, snipers make only 2 shots per round, and more than 5 shots are made only in 10% of rounds. And these are ordinary players in matchmaking. So in theory, this nerf probably won't affect the pro scene at all. Often, the snipers only need 1 shot to change the course of the round. The last time the AWP was changed, its zoom speed was severely reduced, and that was a tough change. Back then, all of the top snipers were having hard times. Even the great and powerful at that time, Kenny S, suffered a lot. It's funny that now he has returned to the pro scene and Valve has released an AWP update instantly. Let's see how Kenny S reacted himself. Oh no, Dust 2, you'll be missed. 5 bullets instead of 10 stand for the op, gotta whiffs less. Sounds easy. Jokes aside, I love CSGO more than they love me. A little more reaction from the pro players. Dexter believes that this is happening because something big awaits us. As for me, there's a decent logic in removing Dust 2, but I would prefer to see an updated version of Mirage, and they still don't do anything about it. But if you look globally, these new maps can be preparation for something bigger, for example, for rotating the map pool 2 times in a year, but all this is still theory. By the way, there is an opinion on Twitter that this is all preparation for Source 2. Cobblestone, Tuscan, Cache, Train, and now Dust 2 has been removed, and perhaps they're being prepared for a new engine. However, I personally do not quite understand how this is connected to the fact that the map must be removed from the main map pool. It sounds strange. Magix described the update the best of all. Rush Tutankhamun, split through Ra, flashing the Sphinx, throwing Molotov to the mummy, 2 guys on sarcophags. Valve also announced the reason why Anubis was picked. The company has completely bought out this map from the developers. They confirmed it themselves on Twitter. That is, Valve can do whatever they want with it. Apparently, there are other contracts with Cache and Tuscan, and maybe that's why they were not added. Flusha didn't like the news at all. Worst map pool in the history of CSGO, Pepe hands. In general, almost all the pro players were happy that the game is changing, but everyone is shocked that it was Dust 2 to be removed. There were no rumors about it, no one even said that Dust 2 would be removed soon. Such conversations were going around Mirage, Vertigo, Inferno, but definitely not Dust 2. Friends, how do you like the update? Write your opinion in the comments below. And now, let's discuss other news. The coach of Astralis shared some information about Device's return. We have already said that we do not want to rush this. Now we are training with Device, and everything is going well. Maybe he will be ready for the next tournament, or he will be prepared for the new year. But this is my opinion, and the return of Device will take place only when the time is right. He will play in 2023, we'll see when. Hopefully in early 2023. It's a shame, of course, that we have to wait at least a couple more months, because it's a mess there in Astralis. They lost to the team called 500, some kind of a Bulgarian stack, and it would be fine to just lose. But man, they lost with 16-1, a complete nonsense. At the same time, they somehow miraculously managed to get out of the group stage at Elisa Masters. The guys even reached the semifinals, where they lost to Fnatic. In short, they need to urgently do something with their roster. Maybe they need to return Config. By the way, he has also returned to CSGO and played for Endpoint as a stand-in. Although not quite successfully, he finished in the last place. Well, since we started talking about reshuffles, I have a few more interesting things to bring up. First off, Major returned to Eternal Fire. What's going on there? They remove Calyx, then decide to return him. After that, they remove Xfloud and again return him. Now it's the same situation with Major. And most importantly, all this happened after the departure of Woxic. Maybe he's really still the same toxic guy he used to be? Well, seems like it's time to shoot a Turkish TV show based on all these permutations back and forth. Also, tests in Force are in full swing. They play matches and try different lineups. At first they had Anker and Sugar, now they have got Krad and suddenly Almazar. Apparently, as a result, they will choose the most optimal option for them. According to Overdrive, Force have already decided on Krad. Amid all this, there is a lot of talk about the future of the CIS scene.
В ближайшие пару месяцев в СНГ появится пару новых бронебойных топовых состава.
In theory, now you can safely assemble a couple of interesting tier 1.5 or tier 2 compositions. From Entropic, from Force, from K23 and the rest of the guys who are currently on the bench or even free agents. It is also unclear what will happen to the top teams like Cloud9. After that Hobbits interview, everyone got suddenly worried. We don't know what will be next. We don't have tournaments until the end of the year as far as I know. This was our chance to make it to the finals and get invited to the Blast World Finals. But now I don't know. We need to get some rest, refresh ourselves, but we need to learn from this tournament too. If we do that, if we make the right decisions, it will pay off in the future. It is still unknown if there will be any replacements for Cloud9. Moreover, there were rumors that Hobbit could join NAVI.
Мне тут вброс дали, этот великий инсайдер Харуми, что вместо Самдаянга Хоббита хотят.
Now, in general, a lot of people are discussing that it's time to make replacements in NAVI. Here's what Bubsky suggests. If NAVI decides to not extend SDY's contract, I would really like to see Forrester get a shot. Feel like he's underrated and overlooked. Solid talent with strong aim. Then, the Ukrainian community attacked him. People were stating that NAVI will not sign a Russian player. Patrick wrote that Forrester's relatives could possibly be participating in the war right now, so there should be no no talks about the contract. To which Bubsky replied, yes, he's an amazing player. I haven't studied his VK or his political views. That's my mistake. But NAVI would look at this before signing anyone. I know he's Russian, but there are already 2 Russians on NAVI currently, and they signed 2 more for their Valorant roster some days ago. And then it turned out that the Ukrainian community has nothing to say against Bubsky. It's more likely that NAVI themselves are to blame for playing a double game. And because of this, many foreign analysts may draw incorrect conclusions. The result of this story is the same. Everyone is discussing the replacement of SDY. It could be Habit, which of course is quite unlikely, maybe someone else, and we must not forget about Buster. There is even a rumor that it could be Bimas, who kinda understands Russian a little, but it looks like science fiction to me. Who would you like to see in NAVI? That seems to be all for today. Subscribe to my channel in order not to miss the most important CSGO news. See you soon!